MMA Rants and Raves, The Ultimate Fighter Season 11, Episode 9. Guys, have I been getting flashes of Jake Shields throughout this season? Dressed in the Liddell blue shirt? Anyway, the show starts out with Ortiz announcing that his neck is bothering him and he might not be able to face Liddell. So we already know that he's not facing Liddell. As a matter of fact, Liddell even has an opponent set up to face. So we know that for sure, but I guess now it's a smoking gun. We know the reason why he's not going to be facing Liddell. Anyway, the first fight is announced and it takes place. It's going to be McRae against Noak. Let's talk about this fight, guys. Noak actually is supposed to be the favorite on Team Liddell, maybe even the favorite to win the whole thing. Talented fighter, good fighting background with experience. And he's going to be fighting McRae. McRae, we know, had problems with his cardio in the first fight. Did not look good at all. And in his next fight, he just looked like a completely different fighter. We saw a lot of aspects of his game. He's multi-dimensional, a well-rounded fighter. And in this fight, basically, we saw a lot more of McRae. And let's get into it. The first two rounds were kind of close, but it seemed to me that McRae won it. And these judges, you just can't figure them out. You know, sometimes they'll rule a fight one way and make you scratch your head, and then they'll rule it another way, make you scratch your head, and you'll think they're fair, they're not fair. But anyway, I thought after two rounds McRae won because he's the guy that got all the takedowns. He controlled Noak, really didn't do much in the fight. Noak did well on his back. He has a great guard, but couldn't do anything about the takedowns. And let me tell you something, guys. Takedowns matter. Even if you do nothing with them, you take somebody down, especially in a manner that's very dominant, you can just blow someone's cardio out. I've seen it in many fights. Just look at the Coleman and Shogun fight. Shogun was really gassed at the end of that fight, even though Coleman didn't do much when he already had him down. I'm not going to get into that fight. The bottom line is takedowns do damage, even if not much is done after that takedown. And the fighter should get credit for it. So I saw him winning after the two rounds. But, you know, it still was close. Because, you know, Noak was actually fighting well off his back. So maybe that's what they saw. Anyway, it goes to a third round. McRae comes out strong again. He does something very smart, goes for that takedown immediately. And that's the best thing to do. Because if you go for it and you get it, your opponent's in trouble. They can't wait for that bell anymore, because the bell means that you lose. This is the third round. And that's what happened. McRae got knocked down. He controlled him. And you hear screams from the side in the corner, smash his face, hit him on elbows, hit him on elbows. But he really couldn't do much. And Noak's guard was very good, but it didn't matter. He was laying on him the entire round. And McRae won the fight. And that's what I always say. If you're a wrestler, even if you're fighting Mike Tyson, if you can take this guy down, all that power is negated in the hands. You can do Muay Thai, you can be a kickboxer, karate, whatever it is. All of that is negated if you're laying on your back. The only thing that's going to work is jiu-jitsu. That's it. There's nothing you can do. Especially in the third round when you're getting tired, you have to get this guy off of you and somehow get out. But Noak just has no takedown defense at all. I mean, McRae was taking him down at will. No takedown defense. I mean, he's a good fighter. He has good stand-up. He does very well on his guard. He actually fights off his back. I mean, he has a lot of good qualities. He just has to work on takedown defense. It's as simple as that. Anyway, it was a good fight. And Noak will come back and he'll fight another day. I really think he will. Anyway, fight number 2 was Tavares against Brzezinski. This was a really good fight. We saw two different fighters, two totally different fighters. Towards the beginning of the fight, we see Brzezinski getting Tavares' back. And he was in real trouble. Because he actually was able to lock on a figure 4. When you lock on a figure 4, okay, and you have already one arm under the neck, you know, in most cases, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that submission. But Tavares is a tough guy. He was able to break out of that, and that was pretty impressive. Very impressive. Not many people can break out of a guillotine choke when they already have a figure 4 locked around them. And he was coiled around him like a snake. I didn't see him getting out of that. And he got out of it. And then there was submission attempt number 2. A little bit later on, he tried to strap on a guillotine choke on Tavares. Tavares physically picked this guy up and slammed him. Let me tell you, you need a lot of power. I was like, wow. In order to take a guy and physically lift him up and slam him, not only you have to pick up his weight, but you got to fight his strength of holding your neck down and pick that up too. You're talking about hundreds of pounds of pressure. When fighters can do that, it means they're very, very strong. So he was able to do that. And then he got Brzezinski down. He started coming with hammer fists, really quick hands on him. And then they both got up again. And then there was the controversial situation, which what happened next is that it seemed that Brzezinski hit him and knocked him down, but he didn't. It was Tavares that slipped. Brzezinski kicked him when he was down. It looked like he kicked him in the face. But later on, they were arguing. It wasn't his face, it was his chest. And the bottom line was that Brzezinski got disqualified because it was kicking opponent when he was down or kneeing him in the face when he was down, and you get disqualified. So both coaches erupted and they were fighting, and they said that he faked it, just like Antonito guy faked the injury against Casey Ascola. So then Antonito got very upset and he started screaming back at the other coaches, and that almost erupted into a brawl. It was kind of interesting to see. But anyway, you know, he did kick him, whether he hit him in the face or across the chest. I mean, it's going to hurt either way. That could really cause damage. So whatever happened, happened. But that's what happened, and it was disappointing because it seemed like it was a really good fight and there was a lot more time left. And I was impressed with both fighters. I was impressed with Tavares because he's a really strong guy. He's a tough guy. He's able to get out of those submission attempts. That's not an easy thing to do, especially for a young guy who's learning how to fight. And then Brzezinski, I was more impressed because this is a guy who's really good with submissions. I mean, he got 2 of them locked on, but he just couldn't finish them. So maybe if he learns a little bit more and trains a little bit harder, he could be more successful. But, you know, this guy is talented. I was impressed with him as well. So it was a good fight, interesting to see. And then, of course, after the fight happens, basically it's a smoking gun that Ortiz is not going to be fighting Liddell. Liddell gets very upset that he's not fighting him. And basically, that's the way it ends. So things are really winding down. A lot of fighters getting eliminated, a lot of them moving back up. So it was a pretty interesting episode. Looking forward towards episode 10. Would like to know what you thought about it. Please leave comments below the video. Rate this video and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in.